Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are again. Can you believe we're on tile 198? Oh, I think we are. I mean, sometimes I do get my numbers wrong, but I think we are. So that's all good. it's just overwhelming sometimes. You think, my goodness me, how many have we done? It's just lovely, isn't it? We can still keep going. But anyway, what do I have with me today? Okay, I have my tile. I did mention this morning that I have actually inked it a little bit. Let's go a bit bigger so you can see. There you go. So I've inked a bit of yellow, a bit of blue. There we are. And I've just, added a touch of salt and let it dry naturally. So I've got something to work a background on. Then I've got my pencil, tortillon, my pen. I've got some pastel pencils with me today as well. So it might be that I use a bit of pastel on there. But so first of all, I need to decide, I think, because I've got a lovely sort of bit of salt effect there, and I think, where am I going to put that? If you want something to be seen, I think, looking at my plan, it's going to be this top right hand side where I want that to sort of stay there. So that's what I'm going to do. I think first of all though, I'm going to put in a border. So I mean, I know I usually was to put dots and create a series of lines, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in with a tile, and there we go, just sort of mark it in with pencil, just lightly where it's going to go, because of course we're not going to keep the whole border, we're just going to keep a little bit of it once we've drawn what we want to draw. So here we go, just sort of gauging it a little bit. If it's not the same, it really doesn't matter. There we go. Okay, so remember, this is the bit where I've got all that salt effect, so that's where I want to keep it. Sorry that I keep leaning in front of the camera. I've actually got some sun behind me, so I'm not going to shut it out. It's really quite nice. Okay, we're ready for this then. Deep breath. Okay, straight in with a pen. Now, I'm going to start, and again, if you want to sort of start this side and take it over here somewhere, that hasn't quite drawn. You can do, just because I'm left-handed and I'm drawing it one way, doesn't mean you've got to follow through. You can do whatever is comfortable for you. There we go. Okay, border on. So I'm going to start down this bottom end, and I'm going to come in with, let's have a look now. Start with a curve. Let's go a bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So I'm going to create this lovely sort of curl. It's not too small. Let's bring it back down there so it's sort of touching and in. It's sort of a bit of a shell-like thing, isn't it? There we go. So if I just pull that out, you can see that in terms of size-wise, that's the kind of size it is. Oh, and I know, we've got a waffle maker, and as lovely as they are, yeah, you don't make them all the time after a while. What? Yeah. It's nice though, must admit. Okay, just going to add a little bit of weight to that inside area. There we go. You could sort of change the shape a little bit if you need to. And then I'm going to do the same down this bottom edge here, so it's sort of getting a little bit thicker there. There we go. Adds a little bit of shape to it as well, doesn't it? There we go. All right. Okay. So then I'm just going to turn it round so it's now on its side. I'm going to come from quite sort of further on round there. I'm going to create a sort of shape that's almost all ring, but then it's going to come and join to that point. See? And then I'm going to come a little bit further in and do the same thing again. So it's coming round. You see? A bit further in, I'm going to do the same again. See, each time going to the same point, then again, and again, and again, and again. And you see now they're starting to come all the way around. Let's go in a bit. And then I'm going to just keep getting smaller and smaller till I sort of run out of space, really. I'm going to stay within that border, so I'm going to sort of stop there. Okay, a little shell shape there. Hello. Oh, it's lovely to see everybody. Okay, I'm going to count. It doesn't really matter where you do this. I think here I'm going to put quite a narrow one, so maybe I'm going to add in some little curvy lines sort of in this one here. See, I'm just sort of following the shape round. Okay, and I'm going to sort of count 2. I'm going to do another one. Just sort of bring in those little curves in. There we are. And then again, count 2. And repeat that. These little curves in place. And then, of course, I'm going to get one at the bottom there. So I think what I'm going to do is just draw in that part of the border. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to just come in with a thicker pen now, still with black ink, and I'm just going to colour in, so I've got a stripy section going down these little shapes here, and another one here. So much quicker, and it doesn't spoil your nib when you're doing a lot of outlining. So I think I'm going to make sure I've got a white pen on me as well, because I'm going to want to put a highlight down these in a little while. There we go, same on this one. Now I don't know whether you're the same, but once I've started, so say I've coloured in the top one on here, I will actually do the same on here. So always, if I start with the top one coloured in, I'll always work my way around so they're the same. It doesn't matter if you've not got the same amount and you sort of, they fall out and you don't have the same at the bottom. I like to make sure that when I've started it's similar, or the same there. Alright, same here. So just going around that outline so I can see where I'm headed with it. And of course, you know, it's nice to make sure that the salt's not on your tile anymore before you start doing this. And sometimes it does stick a little bit and you do get this lovely sort of sparkle effect, but you don't want to be taking a fine micron pen over it, tell you. So there we go. Same one here. Just sort of doing that bottom one there. There's one. And then here I'm just going to fill in a bit. There we go. I'm going to come back to my narrow pen. See if you've got any little bits, you know, that you feel that you need to just come on back in and define there. You can do that with your fine pen. They're not too bad at all then. Quite good with that, that's fine. It's fine. Okay. So I'm going to look at the one after the stripy one. I'm just going to put some bubbles in it, just sort of different sizes, not too many. And I'm just going to perhaps join few together. See, just sort of a random kind of gesture. And then let's do the same here. So again, not worried about creating the same amount, but just sort of give it that effect that you're following the curves. Same on this one. And then just sort of, there you go, so you work it round. Alright, let's have a look at that then. Nice. So here we go, I'm going to do another one. I'm going to sort of start here, but this time I'm going to come out and this way round. You notice it's quite a bit smaller than that one. But, I want to get a few on here, so I want to change the size. I still, oh, I see there, look, I can change that curve by taking that line outwards there, so a little bit of weight just as before. Okay, and then way back here I'm going to come back in with those curves. You see each one is getting smaller and smaller as I work my way around the shape, and just sort of in and out they go. See, I'm going to add a little bit more to that shape there. There we go. Okay, so I think, see this one, I started with the stripy bit there. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to start it sort of one over. That's where I've got a bit of salt. I could just feel it then. Okay, and then I'm going to count 2. Do another. And of course, if you want to do all this in stripes, you can do that. I think sometimes it's nice, isn't it, to have just a little bit of variation. And maybe one sort of here. There we go. So you're not going to see anything in that one. And then, of course, I'm going back in with that thicker pen, and I am going to start again on the top section there. So see that top stripe, always, because I've started with it that way, I'm going to maintain it, do the same. There we go. Doesn't matter what happens at the bottom. And then let's just turn it round and do the same on this one. Something quite nice about filling it in with all this black ink. It's a nice little job, that one. And then I'm just going to get that one there. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to do the same again. But this time I'm going to go from about here. I'm going to create another swirl. See, it's a little bit smaller. There we are. And just as before, just going to add a bit of weight to that section. And then the same there. Okay, so from about here, I'm going to come round and back into the point. And then a little bit further in, round and back. A bit further in, round and back. And I'm just going to keep that going again. There we go. Just sort of going to turn it slightly. You see, that's going to go over the border, but that's fine. I don't mind that. See how they just get smaller and smaller. And just sort of work their way in. There we go. Bit of a, yeah, built on top of each other, aren't they? So I think, you know, I've done this one. I started here, the first, then I did the second one in. So I think this time I'm going to go third one in and start with these stripes. So just as before, just adding that little curve in place. There we go. Counting 2 and then next one. And then count 2 and then the next one. And count 2 and then that one. I'm probably just going to fill that in there. So again, just going to add a couple of bubbles in place there, and see, I just follow that line around so it looks like it's on a curve. Same sort of thing there, and then again around we go. Alright, so I think that one obviously is going to have to have a couple of bubbles on that one as well, just to keep in with the design, and then maybe one there. There we go. So back in with the thicker pen. And I'm just going to fill in those little bits there. So same as before. Now if you've done a smaller one at the bottom, you might actually get a fourth one in at the top. Of course, it completely depends on what you've started with. So I think the actual sample tile I did has got 4 on. Maybe we could put another, but it's sort of gonna fall over, isn't it? We don't want. There we go. Just into that one there. And then to there. Sort of enjoying the time where you just fill it in with a bit of ink there. Same on this one. Just it's quite a shame to actually just cover that bit up because it's a lovely little bit of salting effect, but that's nice. It's gone into the, there's plenty to show there. So there we go. Okay. So I think here I've just got a little bit, like I just want to change that curve slightly. There we go. Oh, and that one there. See, they're great for neatening up afterwards if you need to. Alright, looks a little bit unusual, but then again, don't they always? So again, I'm just going to put the lid on my thicker pen now. I'm going to come in with a regular pen. So let's have a look. We've got a little bit of space here, so what I'm going to do, let's go a bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. I think I'm going to go this way. I'm going to bring a line up and around this way, just slightly out of the border. And then I'm ready for this. I'm going to go quite wide and create a little sort of loop on that side. And then the same on this side. See, it's quite wide, isn't it, considering? So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go from about here and I'm going to create a little shape. You see, I've not gone to the point this time, I've gone slightly further up. And then again. And then again. You see, I'm just sort of creeping up to get to the top. And then I'm going to do the same this way. Don't think you've got to match them in the middle, you don't have to. See, that one's close by, but there we go. Alright, so I'm going to just come into this bottom one here and I'm just going to create this little curve shape inside that first one. So it'll be the same here. And I'm just going to be back in with that thick pen and I'm just going to fill in this section here. Okay. So into that one. And then into this one. There we go, just getting some ink in there. Cool. Alright, so let's have a look for another one. Let's come in a little bit. I'm going to get one, I'm going to bring it up and out here. Again, you need to have a look at your tile. I think, where am I going to work this from? So again, we'll start with that loop. It's going to be a bit smaller than the last one. You see, just peeking out of the back there. And then each one is going to get smaller each time. And then this one, each time getting a bit smaller. And then I'm going to come back to that first one there. Go and then just fill in those bottom sections there with that thick pen. And same on that side. Okay. So let's have a look at this side. See, I don't want to go too much into there, although, you know, it's kind of nice. Let's bring one down here. So I'm going to put my line in first. There we go. And then I can turn it round. And then again, in with that loop. And sort of same on the other side, although you're not going to see all of that. So let's do the bit we can see first. So each one's getting a little bit smaller. Now, of course, you've got to gauge this because if you get too small, when you get to the top, you're not going to have any left. So, same here. I'm going to put this one in. There you go. And then there. You see, just sort of follow it round. Alright, and then in and round. Let's have a look. And then same with sort of this one here. I'm just going to bring that in a bit. And into there. So it'll be nice if the sun stays out this weekend, won't it? I know it's cold, but at least to be able to get out about if you need to. Like I'm going to be at home this weekend prepping for next week. There's a few shows to do, so really looking forward to it actually. It's going to be really nice. There we go. Okay. Definitely another one here. There we are. And of course, a loop that way and a loop that way. And then I'm going to fill in the shapes as I go up bank. And then the same this side. Each one getting a little bit smaller than the last one. And then a little curve on the inside there. And a little one there. Okay. And then of course back in with that ink. Something really nice about an inked background and then black over the top of it. Same on this one. Let's just fill in that bit there and that bit there. Okay, so back in with the regular pen, and I'm just going to bring out, I think I'm going to start here, I'm just going to bring out a little bit of a line and then put a loop on the end. Okay, go a bit bigger with this one. And then I'm just going to create a second loop around the first. And then just on the inside there, I'm just going to put a smaller one with a little bit of a fill in. So let's bring in another one. So loop first, and then loop outside, loop inside. Fill that in. There we go. Let's have a look. Oh, hi there. Hi, Richard, Lisa. Saw your advent calendar today. See that you're doing it together. That's lovely. It's going to be really nice, isn't it? A picture that you both worked on. Oh, exactly. It's going to look lovely. Oh, it's lovely to sort of, you know, catch up with people, isn't it? It's almost like, you know, we're all just sort of getting together for a quick chat, isn't it? It's really nice. But of course, you know, tangling away at the same time. So you're doing another one of those with 3 loops. Just fill that bit in. And then just sort of up here. 1, 2, 3 loops. You can do less if you want. You can do 2, or you could do more if you like. Or you could do 1, 2, 3. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's get one in here. Kind of like to do, I might even do it that way, look. Kind of like doing the middle one first though. I think it gives you a sense of, right, I know where I'm headed. You know, and then in there. Okay, I'll just get one in here, look. You might go round there, that's it. There we go, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
It's nice to know, everybody, she does not have stuffed tissue paper up her nose today.
No, I feel better today.
It isn't a cold, it was her sinuses. Okay, so just having a look at the top here, I'm just going to add a little bubble. 1, 2, 3. See how they get smaller each time? Same here, like 1, 2, 3. and again. 1, 2, and 3. And then here I'm just going to get the 1 in because it's sort of falling off the page. And then, of course, just sort of adding in those ones. Let's have a look. There we go. See, just sort of these here. And those 3s. There we are. Maybe just sort of 1 there. Alright, so at this point I'm going to bring that border back in now. So whether you want to use a straight edge or whether you want to come in and do it freehand, you see I'm stopping it each point where I can have a bit of a breather. Turning it round. Same again. Just sort of stopping it there and then joining on to the next bit. Just sort of makes it a little bit easier to draw there. Same on this one. Now here, look, I've got quite a long way to go, but I'm still going to stop. And then I'm going to bring in the next bit. Now, if you find that you've got a bit of a wobble and you think, oh my goodness me, what am I doing here? Then turn it into something. See? Make it look like you meant it. There you are. So I think this time I'm going to do a couple on this side as well. And then this side I'm going to go straight again. So don't ever think it's got to stay straight. If you want to, it can actually, you know, have a little bit of a quirk around it. There we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start with, have I got any pencil that I need to remove first of all? But no, I think it's fine. Sometimes you've got to have a look and you think if there's a little bit of pencil that needs going, now is a good time to do it. But no, that's all good, it's fine. And I think rather than actually use normal pencil today, I'm going to come in with my pastel pencils and I'm going to add some colour in there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stick with the blues and greens, I think, being that I've got a bit of blue and green in the background there. So a quick sip of tea. And off we go. I'm going to start with the blue. Now I've got quite a bit of blue over here and then a bit of green down here. So I think if I work along the lines of that with the pencils. So let's sort of start with this one. So stripe wise, I'm going to just add some across the whole thing, the black and the white stripes down either side. So I'm not going to worry about that one there. Okay. Same with this one. Down one side and down the other. Alright. Same with this one. So this is quite narrow, so you don't want to be putting a lot on. Maybe you can always add it. Taking it away is a little bit more tricky. Okay, let's go a bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. So then I'm just going to add some one side of that curve. Let's see. And then one side of this one. And even though that's got some this side, I'm still going to add some to this side. And then same on this one. You see, working my way around all on the same side. So it's only the striped ones that get both sides. You see? So I'm going to do the same, but I think this time I'm going to come in with a slightly lighter blue. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So start with the stripes. A little bit on either side. Okay, same with this one. So you don't want to overdo it, and these are pastels I'm using. Of course, if you want to come in and use your regular pencil, that's absolutely fine. You can put it in exactly the same place. And of course, when we use the tortillon to shade this, we'll do it in the same way as a regular pencil. However, if you're going to use coloured pencils, then you're going to have to blend them. So just be light with them and gentle. Okay, there we go, there's the other one. And then I'm going to come in with the green. Got a slightly lighter green here because it sort of goes with what I've got going on. So let's just bring that green around there. And then of course in stripes before, either side. Same on this one. And this one. You could always come back and you could add another layer of pastel colour if you want to. But we're just going to sort of see how one looks. There you go, see, stripes all done. And then in with just the colour on one side. Okay. Even where I've put that striped bit, I'm still treating them as a separate shape, and I'm adding colour on one side there. Okay, let's have a look at that. All right, so I'm going to come in with the tortillon. There's still a little bit more to do yet, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to do these bits first. So here we go, back in there. Starting with the stripes. So I'm going to do just gently down the bottom. I'm just going to sort of touch on the edge. You see, just to soften it off a little bit. See, I've got a little bit of graphite on my tortillon, so it's dulling the colour slightly, but I don't mind. Okay, so you see, just ever so lightly, and I'm not going in the middle on purpose. I want to leave that if I can. Okay, and then of course these little bits, and again I'm just going to soften the edge, but I don't want them going across the whole shape. I just want to give it a little bit of a very light pressure so it blends outwards. Okay, see, it just blends outwards. So if you turn your tile as you go, you sort of find that you're in that curved shape, and you can usually do it in one swooping move. There we are. See, just nice and gentle. Working it round. Okay. There we go. And of course when it comes to this one, again, I'm just going to soften the edge. Work my way around. There we go. Same with this one. So whether you want to do all the stripes first, or whether you want to then just sort of work from one side of the design to the other, it's entirely up to you. See, just very light application there. No, hardly any pressure at all. Just sort of softening those edges just a little bit. Okay, and of course when it comes to the stripes, I'm doing both sides. Same with that one there. And then of course into the green. What I am going to do, so I've just got a nail file. Just going to file off, you see, just that tortillon, because I don't want that blue to sort of muddy this limey kind of green that I've got here. So there we go. So see, now it's almost as nice and clean again. So I'm going to get that bright green in there. You see, there you go. And again, just stripes. And the stripes on there. Just a little bit of pressure around those ones. Just going to soften it off. Both sides on the stripes, very gentle pressure, just taking my time. Same on this one and this one. Go, and just let's do this one. So, let's see where we're at so far. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is nice, isn't it, Nadia? That lime green really makes a bit of an impact there. I quite like that. It's going to mix a little bit. It's okay, so we're going to come now to these little shapes here. So you can mix and match. You can choose different colours if you want. But I'm going to stick with the colours I've got here. So this one, for example, I'm going to use the green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put sort of zigzag motions straight up the middle on the other side, and then I'm going to do across that side, across that side. So again, I've got this centre piece here, okay, and then same as before, I'm just going to very gently soften those edges out towards the centre, and then from this side towards the centre. And again, I just want to leave that little highlight there. Same this side. So see, it takes very little pressure there. There we go. So I think I'm going to use the darker blue for this one in the background here. And again, just sort of going to come up with colour on the middle and a little bit on those outer edges. And then because I've got bright green on the tortillon, it doesn't matter so much because the blue is going to cover most. Okay, there we go. There's that one. It's nice, isn't it? I like how it's worked. So I've got two here. And again, I'm going to come in, I'm going to use the darker blue here. Just going to sort of work my way up. Again, one side, down the other. And just sort of add a little bit on the edges. There we are. Back in with tortillon. Oh, goodness me, Nadia, yeah. Well thought of. Yeah, I do have a birthday, yeah, coming up. And thank you, Lisa, for remembering. Yeah, remember last year we were in the old place, weren't we? And I remember Leslie making me a cake with Mickey Mouse on. Okay, I'm coming in with that lighter blue here. Because it was a birthday with an O on the end of it, wasn't it, if I remember rightly? So, yeah. Gosh. Okay, I don't think we'll be going anywhere crazy. Although there's a, the Matrix is on at the cinema, isn't it? So does that start on the 22nd, the new one? So I might have to go and watch that. There we go. It's sort of worked its way there. Yeah. You know how different it looks when you come from different angles. That's quite nice. I like it that way. But then I like it that way too. So whichever way you wanna do it, really. Okay, I'm gonna come back in with the blue. And let's just sort of put a little bit in those bottom edges. I think I'm going to do same there. There we go. And then two here. I'll just soften that off a little bit. Same here. And just sort of giving it a little bit of shape there. Nothing crazy. Oh, Chris, I wish. Missed that one, look. Okay, so I'm going to bring the blue in and the green again. So let's start with that green. You see in the background where it's sort of slightly greenish, so I'm going to bring in that green pastel there. A little bit to that side and that side. And of course this is going to depend on your tile and if you've inked it or where your sort of inking sits in relation to the colours you're using. And you can also just do this in regular pencil if you want to. It's just nice to, you know, do something a bit different. Let's start with the green. I'm just going to very gently soften it off. There we are, see? And then, of course, same on this side. You see, it just sort of, that's just going to blend in together there. And let's mix it in. See, it can be a little bit tougher here because it's got something behind it already, so I don't have to worry massively about out whether that's going to blend, because it's going to disappear into the background. And a little bit here, just sort of finishing to that. Okay, so I think we need to bring in, oh that's lovely, look at that, how that colour's worked. Do like that. It's still got that lovely sort of effect there underneath. So I'm going to bring a bit of white pastel in. Being that I'm on a coloured tile as such now, I'm just going to add a little bit of white, just to a few points. Here we go, look. So see, just on the outer edges, and then I'm probably going to come in with a, yeah, I think you can use a pastel, but I might come in with a white pen, but pastel's fine. See how that looks, it might be subtle enough. Yeah, so you see I'm just sort of touching those edges. Let's do this one. There you go. Straight down the middle. And then just sort of on the outer edge. And down the middle. Outer edge. So it might not be, you know, absolutely clear here that, you know, the white's been used, but it's definitely bringing it up a bit. It just gives it that little bit of a difference. Again, on the top there, look. And round to this one, just on those edges. See, it's mainly down that black section in the middle there that it sort of needs it. So let's going to go straight down the middle of those. That's nice. I think that does it. And same with those. And then here, same with those. Those. Oh, missed one down here, look. Let's have a look at that. Okay. So we've got some of these highlights in, so that's kind of nice. I like that. I think I'm going to leave that as it is. But what I do want to do, I'm going to bring just a little bit of it into the black there, you know, just a little line. See, now, see there, I've done a bit too much, it scratches out. I'll do that one as well. I think that's nice. I'm not going to come in with a white pen there. I think I'm going to leave it kind of subtle. That's quite nice. I think maybe even just with the tortillon, just gently, see, just sort of very gently go over it. It just sort of blends it in a little bit into the background. So it's lovely, isn't it? It's a bit different, Marion. It's nice to sort of have that little bit of difference, isn't it? See, I've got a black pastel here. Now, all I'm going to do with this is, you see where you've got this green one going over the top of this blue one here? I'm just going to come on in and just add in, you see, just a little bit of black over the top there. You see, just that bit there? See, and I can just split those two. And then here, where I've got the two here, I can just sort of work over the top there. Just sort of so it separates one and the other. Yeah, it's nice that. Might do a little bit there too. It's amazing how black a black pastel can be. See, I'm just gonna clean that up a bit, I think. Just take a bit of that white away. You know, where it's sort of spread a bit, we don't really want it too much. No, I like that. Okay, a bit on there maybe. Let's have a look at that. See how much different now that looks, just bringing that in. I think in terms of gel pen, I do have a silver gel pen with me here. So what would be quite nice is, I think, just to sort of come in over the top and just add a little bit of metallic in on those dots. So again, just a little touch, I mean, you don't have to. Glaze pen would work nice. I know we've not used a glaze pen in ages, but that would look just as nice. A glazed pen would look nice over these bits. But, choice is yours. There we go. Same sort of here. There you go. So just add in a bit. Let's have a look at that. Here we go. See, just a little bit. And I think, oh, just because, oh, lost it. Just because we can. Trying to zoom. Just gonna add a couple, you know, just in and around those sides there. Maybe even a bit on there. So it looks a bit different inked, doesn't it? Quite like that. Maybe one or two there. So last thing to do really for this one is to sign it. I just move mine out the way. I'm going to come on in. Now you don't want to be signing over where you've put pastel. Just remember that, because your pen won't like it. So I'm just going to sign it in there. There we are. And there is our pastel sort of affected tile. Now I do have one I've just done in complete monochrome with just pencil. So here we go. Here's this one. So there's one. There's the other. So whether you want to do it in colour or whether you want to do it in monochrome, you see I actually got 4 in there. It's entirely up to you. So whether you see colours or not, watercolours, whether you want to just ink the background and go monochrome, it's entirely up to you. Just have a bit of fun with it and see where it leads. But